And we're officially live.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. 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 Welcome, Jackie. Thanks for joining me today. I already see
Awesome.
people in the comment section coming in. If you're joining us live, be sure to let us know where you're from. Tom from Virginia, welcome. Fantine from Switzerland, welcome. We are really excited today. I personally love the theme that we're going with today. This is the first of hopefully many, many, many recurring workshops like this. Today we are talking about Marketing 101, everyone. I'm joined here by Jackie. Jackie, for those who don't know, is our one of our success coaches and my personal favorite. Of course, I love it. I love all of them. Jackie and I spend quite a lot of time together making these workshops happen, and we are very, very excited. Jackie, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Pierre. It's always a pleasure to be around you because I learn a lot from you when it comes to marketing myself. I mean, I
Well,
understand the platform and I can build it like the back of my hand, but I am not a guru when it comes to marketing. So I am really happy to be around you all the time.
I appreciate you saying that. We can all always learn, right? I see people coming in from Cape Town, New Jersey, New York City. Welcome, everyone. Uh, let's dig right in. Today, we are talking about Marketing 101. We're going to break down what makes marketing effective, how we can learn to use it, and how we can always be on that higher end strategy level. We were just talking about this off the air. Um, when we see people get worried about new tools, new technologies replacing what we're doing, that should immediately tell us that we are not thinking high enough of levels, right? We want to focus on the strategy and we want to utilize the tools and the channels at our disposal to do just that, right? They're
Mm.
just tools and disposals for us. So today we're going to break down what makes marketing effective. And once we figure that out, we unlock all of marketing in a really easy way. What I want everyone to keep in mind is there are fundamentals that have been true and continue to be true for, I think, 60 years now and running. They will continue to be true because they are foundationally just psychology, right? This is
Mm.
how humans operate. We figure that out and we sort of tailor it to deliver appropriate communication. So that's all it is. I don't want anyone to be scared. Going to be very, very easy, very quick session today. So, first of all, we're going to figure out what marketing is, right? I want to make a distinction here. Their advertising and branding are part of marketing. All right. I don't want people to get confused. Advertising is not marketing, but it's a part of it. Marketing is
Yeah.
that overall strategy that we use to deliver our message and ultimately promote our product or service. What I want to focus on is how these advertising and branding elements come in, just to make everything super clear for everyone. Advertising is your process of promotion. It's you selecting the channels, it's you setting up the message, it's you promoting in a specific location to a specific target audience. All right. It is not marketing, but it's obviously a part of marketing. Branding is your identity. So, what you look like when you go out into the market and you start to communicate with people, the imagery they see, your logos, your colors, your tone of voice, their experience with your business becomes all part of your brand, right?
Mm.
When and everyone uses the Apple example because it's really accessible to everyone. Apple has a very, very strong brand. You know exactly what you're going to expect from them when you communicate
Mm.
with them, their visual style, everything about them is really uniform, and that helps them promote their message easier.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll answer them. We'll both answer them. The next slide I'm going to focus on is going to be how we break down those marketing concepts into the 4 Ps. This is something that's really common: product, place, price, promotion. Those are basically the foundations of marketing and how we put together a plan that helps us communicate our business. Your product, obviously, is what you're selling. So this is your
Mm.
service, your idea, the product itself, whatever it is. this is the thing itself that is for sale, for example, right? I want you all to think about creating a product that people want to buy, right? So if it's up to us to create the product, we want to create a product people want, right? It sounds really easy or really straightforward, but a lot of times you can all imagine how many times we've seen products and we thought to ourselves, like, this solves a problem that no one has.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I want us to really keep that in mind whenever we have a role to play in the creation of the product, to create a product market fit and create a product people really need or want or really answers a specific problem.
I think that is so important, because I've actually seen sometimes a lot of people starting to build their sites or build their things, and then you look at the website and you can't figure out what is the actual problem that the person is going to solve. There's a lot of things happening on the page and a lot of content and information, but at the end of the day, it doesn't convert because it doesn't touch that problem that the user have. And I think that is probably one of the most important parts. It's solving that issue. You're so right.
I completely agree. I think I hear this a lot online and all of like the business and marketing type of content, which is the more expensive of a product you fix, the higher you can charge. And I think that is exactly what we're trying to figure out, is what is that product that answers a problem. The next P is that price. You want your price to be competitive. Also, you want to be profitable. So all of that comes into play with how you price your product. A lot of people, take a margin and they just put in a margin. What I want everyone to start really thinking about is pricing for what your customer is willing to pay, not what you're comfortable asking for. Makes sense. A lot of times we don't want to be really expensive because we don't want to say a really expensive number. But what you guys to think about is, if the problem you're solving is a significant problem, the customer is willing to pay extra for it. The customer is willing to pay for it, for this problem to go away. All right. So start to think about pricing in terms of what your audience is willing to purchase for, versus just what you're willing to ask. And a lot of times, you see this a lot with luxury brands. Itself, in terms of material or craftsmanship, has a value that doesn't even come close to the asking price. What they're selling is what users or buyers are willing to pay. So keep that in mind, just as something to think about. Third P is place. This is where you're selling your product. This, I think, was more relevant way back when things were more like store-based, brick and mortar. Right now, the internet is exactly that. It's ubiquitous. It's all over the place. But even still, where you promote your product, where you have your storefront, really matters to whether or not people see it and whether or not people engage and actually purchase your product. We're seeing a big trend right now where stores are being set up right on social media platforms. Like your TikTok store or Instagram. You just buy exactly what right in that channel. Excuse me. I'm seeing some comments here. Welcome, everyone. Prices, what Eric Salgado understand. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Once we can all figure out the relationship between product, place, and price, we can start to see how we're setting up the strategy versus just answering a tactical issue. Like, am I working on my SEO properly? Am I on Google Ads? Am I selling on Meta? We want to look at the whole thing holistically. The last P for that holistic view is that promotion. Communication. For me, I think the most important part of the 4 Ps of marketing in general is that promotion. How we promote our product, what we say, where we place our advertising. Does it relate to our target audience? What is the story I'm telling? Right? Because it's the story that sells. It's no longer about just the product. A lot of people say most things, or all things that have needed to be solved, have It's already been solved. It's just about how we approach that. And I want us to start thinking about marketing in terms of storytelling. Okay.
And you know what, Pierre? It's a lot of people say you just need to build it and they will come. That's not the case. You can have the best websites, you can have the best sales funnels, the best systems in place, but if you're not going to do your proper marketing and via promotion, by making your promotions and your content to that level, then you might as well go home because nobody is going to act on it.
Right. What's the value of a website if no one sees it, right? Our job is to get the right audience on our website, right? And this is what I want people to think about. It's also not about huge numbers of traffic. It's about relevant traffic. You know, I'd rather get 5,000 visitors on my website that are really willing to buy, they're my target audience, versus getting 10,000 visitors on my website and have, you know, 90% of them bounce or not having the message be relevant. So it really comes down to the story I'm telling and how I'm able to attract people to take the next step with me, right? So with that, we're going to start to break down a little bit of the customer personas. I'm going to restate this again. If you have any questions, if you want me to slow down, repeat something, go ahead and drop it in the comments. You are A-okay to do so. This is a live session. We're going to go through all of these different concepts. We really want to break it down. And I want everyone to walk out from this workshop really engaged. And I want everyone to sort of figure something out for their own business. Okay, so please, let's go through this challenge together. Ask any question that you want. We're all about it. In the meantime, understanding customer personas. So what is a persona? This is sort of this fictional character that you can imagine that is your ideal customer. Okay, this is your, you know, if I had everything I wanted in a customer, what would they look like? Are they male, female? But more importantly, what do they care about? You know, what do they really get engaged about? Obviously, you know, male, female, age groups, all of those demographics, that's a nice way to segment an audience. That's fine. But we all know nowadays that it really looks like a gradient of people. I like to address it, you know, from different angles. Let's look at what they're interested in. Let's see what they care about. Let's look at their age, but let's also look at what they're into. You know, people in a 50 to 60 year bracket can look very different than each other. So that's why I want to look at what they do from you know, what their day-to-day life looks like. So I want you to define your audience, create a picture perfect, clear idea of who they are, identify them, tell me what they care about, tell me what their problems are, what they do when they identify a problem. Do they talk to their friends? Do they go online? What does that behavior look like? And then more importantly, what their buying behavior looks like. When they're ready to purchase, what do? Do they research? Do they just jump in feet first? Do they look at reviews? Do they just look at price? You know, all of those things come into play. And I want you guys to start writing that in a story format. Describe it like you're describing your friend, right? If you had a friend, this is what that friend would do. We all have people in our lives that we can guess exactly how they're going to respond to a message. Like I know for me, when I see something, I can immediately tell, let's say, how my wife is going to respond to it. You know, is it going to be positive? Is it going to be negative? Is she going to be curious? Is it going to be an easy thing to sell or no? You know what I mean? So write it down, create that profile, create that personality, and that'll be the basis of all of your communication moving forward.
I like how you mentioned now the relationship with your wife, knowing your wife.
Yes.
You know, we need to know that customers in depth. You mustn't even think about it. And I just wanted to mention something, Pierre, while you were busy talking. I think a lot of people get stuck at this stage where they struggle to figure out who their audience is and they don't know how to know that. And I just want to say something very, very small. And it's a really something simple that you can do. And that is to go hang out on platforms like Reddit and to type that specific product or idea or whatever and read it and see what is the type of things that people are talking about with regards to that idea. And before you even start building your business out, is to raise polls inside of areas like that and ask them questions to get to know your audience better, especially if it's something that you're not new to. But that is the thing. Use social media, use the internet to research them.
I love that idea. Looking at platforms that are forum-based like Reddit will give you a really deep understanding of your target, like a very, very deep, what do they care about? What are their problems? Do they all share a similar issue? Can I solve that with my product? For example, you can unlock a very deep level of understanding if you're willing to do that extra work. Don't just scan over it. And I guarantee, if you use this as the foundation and ask yourself, would my persona respond to my message? You can immediately tell yes or no. You can immediately say, yes, this is a good message. No, this is not a good message. So I want you all to really start to think about that. Let's see. Fontaine, but time goes by so fast. I'm getting older and suddenly my personas are no longer up to date. I'm tearing my hair out. Great question or situation here. What I would say to that is perhaps, and maybe, I haven't seen your work, but perhaps you're not thinking high level enough. Perhaps you need to zoom out more than what you're zooming at, the level that you're zooming out. Give me the truths about your audience that continue to be true over time. So I'll give you an example. Purchasing a house is almost always a very serious decision. Almost always takes a lot of time to research. There's a financial component. There's a familial component. There's a lot of things that go into the mix. But people know in the real estate industry that during springtime, that's a big boom in house sales, right? People need houses all the time, but during the winter, they don't want to move. That's a truth. You know what I mean? That's something that you can use for your marketing purposes almost always. So zoom out even more and tell me what their behaviors are. So don't just focus on the channel. And, the next step would be the channel changes a little bit and people abandon it. And now we have to start from scratch. Tell me how they behave and how they respond. You mentioned old people are your best audience. Tell me more about their community life. Where do they go? Where do they hang out? Are they retired? Are they on a fixed income? Are they affluent? Are they, all of those things, break them down and create that personality and talk to that person pretty much. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you for asking that. And I definitely feel the pain here. Time does move really fast. And by the time you're done with something, a lot of times you just have to go back and start again. But that's the beauty of marketing. And frankly, that's the beauty of working on Builderall. You can have access to everything all at once in one place. I wanted to break down some basic channels for advertising for digital marketing. All right. A lot of people say, digital marketing is different than marketing in a traditional sense. That's not true. All right. The way I see it, the digital world is just new channels that we're accessing and we're fitting it into the same old strategy, marketing foundations. It's just a new channel, like let's say TV or radio advertising was. Your website, your social media, your email, your paid ads, all of those are new channels. Obviously, they all behave in a different way. They have different nuances to them, but they're channels, right? This is a place for me to put my message. It's not the message itself, right? So if you're waiting for, that new channel to unlock your entire business, that may happen, but most likely you need to just look at the strategy that you're running. I'll take a breath here. I'm going to take a sip of water. Everyone, engage amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. All right. Basic channels of digital marketing. Website, social media, email marketing, paid ads. Now we're seeing this new AI trend come out where people are using AI as a search engine. That is its own, great frontier, so to speak. So I want everyone to keep that in mind. That is something that's happening actively for right now and for the foreseeable future. We still need websites. Social media channels still exist. Email marketing is still the highest converting channel across all your communication, and your paid ads are still immensely valuable. Okay. What we're going to do today is we're going to break these down. We're going to show you a really quick look on how to set these up and how Builderall supports these things or these different channels. If you don't have a Builderall account, that's totally fine. You can, however, use the promo code marketing101. You'll get 30% every month for 3 months. You'll also get the marketing starter kit. Okay. We're going to go through here. It's going to be a 5-minute demo. We'll show you this kit, but you'll get social media templates. You'll get a link in bio page template that you can just add and customize really quickly. You'll get a comment autoresponder sequence that we sort of give you for a script. And we're going to break down what all of those things are. A website builder template. We also are giving out a mailing boss template for your email marketing that sort of looks really nice and together, and a booking builder. We're going to show you how to create a template or a page that looks really in line with those templates that we're giving out. The idea behind the starter kit is to give you access to all of the tools across the different channels, across the different workflow or funnel, so to speak, that people are going to engage with, so that when you get into the platform, it's not really overwhelming. You don't need to build things from scratch, and you know exactly how to, let's say, or build your account in a way that really supports your business. Okay, what I want you all to think about is we want you to focus on things that support your business. All right, if you're busy working on something that doesn't ultimately serve your business, stop doing it. Okay, stop doing it, pause it, or call it a hobby. Do it in your free time. But if it has to do with your business, we want it to ROI. Okay, so Builderall wants to give you all of that value, and make sure to use that promo code. You're going to get an email, and everyone who registered to this workshop is also going to get an email that has all of these items in that starter kit. So we're going to do this back and forth, Jackie. I hope you're ready. We're going to keep this short and sweet. Talk about the channel itself between all of these 4 channels. And we're going to show you how Builderall can support you with this journey. All right?
Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, your website. You mentioned this best, Jackie. If you create a website and no one sees it, does it really exist? Does it matter? No, that's a clear answer, right? So we want our website to help us build a strong online presence. Obviously, it's essential for branding, it's essential for visibility, it's essential for storefront for people to connect with you. A lot of very useful things. All right. And
yeah.
We were just talking about websites today on our Template Tuesday sessions. It's so easy to use Builderall as someone who doesn't have any coding experience that it's almost a shame for you to go to another platform and try to do it that way, right? I'm going to stop my screen share, and Jackie, maybe you can share your screen, and we can get into and show really quickly a sneak peek on the platform itself, how we can edit, maybe add a picture, change the size, move things around, just to show how easy it is for you to use your mouse and visually design a website that's great.
Yeah. There is one thing I wanted to add before we do this little demo quickly, with regards to a website. And the way I see it is that a website is basically a hub or the place people are going to go to when they cannot speak to you.
Right.
So whatever is on that website needs to represent you, your business, who you are. So think about when you're creating your pages, that it's going to answer all those questions that they might have asked you if they face you right in front of you. They were standing right in front of you. Will your website be able to answer those questions? And that is how you need to build your hub. That's what I always call it. And that is the beginning point of anything that you're going to do online. That is why it's so important to make sure that you create this not just aesthetically looking great, but also the content that's going to go on these pages.
Yes.
And while we are talking about this, I'm just going to drop in quickly about the Template Tuesday. Pierre and I speak about this every single Tuesday, about the important elements that needs to be on a page. He discusses the marketing background behind all of those elements in these sessions. You guys really do not want to miss those sessions every single Tuesday, because we speak about things that you're not going to find on a normal tutorial, because it's such an open-based type of discussion, showing the platform and talking about the elements as it's placed.
Yes.
All right, I will talk for hours when it comes to that. So let me rather jump in here quickly and give you guys a quick overview. So when you're going to go to the tools and you access the website builder, you will always have a variety of choices to create. You can go and create from a very blank. So if I'm going to go to the new website area here, you will see that we've got hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of templates that you can choose from. And you can preview them, obviously by highlighting over it, or you can choose to collect and select a brand new one. But these are not your only options. There are other options that you can use to create your website. And I'm going to show you quickly. I'm not even going to go and select that one. I'm just going to go back to the website. I don't want to recreate something. So when you create a blank, it's going to look like this, blank templates. All right. Now today we started actually this specific one. And I'm just going to use this now as an example. You can create something from scratch with Builderall by just placing elements in boxes, making use of rotation banners. And if I go to the right-hand side here, you will see that we've got different panels. And I'm going to click on some of them. We're not going to go through all of them. But you can see that there is a variety of different panels right here. And we call this above the fold, which means it is everything that the person is going to see the moment the page opens, your most important part of your page. And you can see there's great templates that you can choose from here. So it doesn't mean you have to create a template from scratch, choosing the ones that you saw earlier. You can also add a panel right from this side. And then if I go back, you can see we also have business banners, which is another section inside of the site that you can add, like the contact us now, or different kinds of banners that you might be able to use in your site. So you can see there's multiple different ones you can choose from. In this area under panels, it means that there is whole sections. It's not just an element that's been placed, but it's a whole panel full of content or information that you can edit. So there is a landing page, for an example. Landing pages normally have an opt-in at the top. You can see what it looks like. So these are the ones that you can use with regards to panels. Or you can just add a blank panel. And if I click on it, you're going to see I've just added it now, a black panel here at the bottom. So I'm going to show you now in this blank panel here a few things that you can do. You'll see that we've got a section that says elements. And this is probably one of the most important part, because here you're going to find all the different kinds of things that you can do to start creating your website. But the very most important thing to remember when you start is to decide what type of fonts are you going to use, what is the type of font sizes that's going to be on your page, what is your logo design, what is your color schemes, and all of that you will be able to set up from the beginning before you start adding elements, and it's going to save you a lot of time. Yep. You can see that we've got the H1, that is a lorem ipsum there. You can see it looks different from the other ones that we have chosen, and that is how you're going to set it up in advance so that you do not need to go and change it every single time that you add something to the place. And right. You can also add a background, a page background. And this is a cool feature, because what happens if you have a background And I'm going to give you an example. If I go and add a background to my site, and I'm just going to choose something here that is, I'm just going to use that one for now. That background has been set, but you cannot see it on the page. You can see it's missing in action. Why? Because if you're going to right click on your panel and you're going to go to the area right here where it shows background settings, and you do this, it's going to appear behind it because this is not the back side of it. And as you scroll, you can see what happens when you do that. That is the function that you would have if you're making use of a background. Sometimes if you use Clever Designs, you would be able to use a background, even if it's a very long background, it will change depending on the panel that you have. So that is really a cool feature to have.
So
then,
sorry, Jackie, just to jump in, I think it would be great to also look at how you can add an image right into the panel. So if you can show us how to do that, how easy it is to just enlarge and change the shape, and that would be awesome. Yeah.
So now under the elements area, you'll see that we've got the variety of these different. Do you wanted me to put it over the panel that was there?
No, this,
okay.
Yeah, where you are.
And I just added here. All right, so now you can see that we've got different kinds of elements that you can place. And we're just going to do something very simple. Let's just add a title that is going to be at the top of the page. That would be a title. And then we are going to go back and we're going to have our subtitle. Let's do this one. And I'm just going to give you now a simple idea and show you how quickly this is when it comes to creating these different kinds of things. We're going to go and grab a box. A box is a cool thing to use in Builderall, and the reason for that is because it keeps your content together that belongs together. And I'm going to show you now in a quick example why I'm saying it's so important to always make use of a box. And then I'm going to use some images. Let me just grab this image here. We're going to drop an image in there. We're also going to look for an email marketing form, because that's very important. Remember, we always want to make sure that we capture the information from them. And it's going to ask me now for a list that we need to create. So let me just go and choose a list. Just a second.
And while you're doing that, what I want to say to the audience is, if you are better designing visually, Builderall is the place for you. You can very easily, as we can see on the screen, Jackie is able to drag and drop, change the size, change the font. Everything is really straightforward. And there isn't the requirement to do any singular line of code ever, because it's all mouse-based. You want to change something, you move it. You change it, you want to change dimensions, you can. If you really want to drill into the details, the settings panel gives you access to everything that you need. But if you're comfortable designing something on, let's say, Canva or Adobe Illustrator or whatever it is, Builderall is the place for you to just transfer that information, come here and design something from scratch with your mouse and your creativity, and that's all you need. You don't need any coding information whatsoever. And all of that makes Builderall really accessible. All right.
Absolutely. All right. I would just want to connect a mailing boss list for us.
Sure. We can do that.
And I want to show you something also, sorry.
Well, I wanted to say, for people who don't know what a mailing boss form is, a lot of times on different platforms, let's say WordPress, if you wanted to add a form, then you have to grab a plugin and you have to connect the plugin with your email. And then your email needs to do something specific. On Builderall, it's very easy to connect your form with your email marketing, because Builderall has an email marketing solution built in called Mailing Boss. So your email marketing can happen right in Builderall, right in the same place, and it gives you a native environment. I see here, I think I'm stuck, right?
Yes, you're stuck.
All right, let me try to fix that here on my end.
All right. So guys, while we are going on, I just want to show you something that I normally do, and it's just a tip to help you out. when you are creating certain areas, what you also can do is to go to the panels and go choose a specific one. So let's say I would like to have a specific box. So let's say I'm going to go with this box right here. You can click on that box. It's going to add it to the bottom of the page like we've got here. Let me just delete this one that I added. You can see also how easy it is to delete these sections. So I want to use this whole box, and I'm going to draw it right here to the top. Then you don't have to redo all of those pages and all of those things. So you automatically can just drag and drop, and you've got all the content that you need. So I'm just going to click on that panel to remove it and move this down. So you can see what's happening right here. There I've placed in my box. There I've got an image. If I right click on that image, let me just use the bar on the side so you can see. And let's say we're choosing an image. We are selling something specific. So I'm going to see if I could find a quick something that we can add there to use. So I'm just going to go to the next page. Let me see if there is something. Let's say we're just going to use this one here. So let's say we are promoting this specific product, and you can add it on the page as an image. I actually saw something else. So like I said, you can always make use of the panels. Like on this landing page, where is it now? Let's go to the panels, and I'm just going to add that one again. Let me remove that. I just want to show you how easy it is to move things around even on the page. So you can see like that one. You can add images like, and just drag it.
Yeah.
And if I delete that, it will delete that whole section. You don't need to have that. And you can see that it's all set in nicely in this area. Yeah. And you can obviously have another heading right here. If you don't have to have it at the top. It could be placed in there. Sure. And I'm going to show you what happens now. This box, all the content is moving together because it's been placed inside of a box. But now, if you put everything like this, let's say you wanted these to also be inside of the box, and it's going to help you when it comes to your mobile optimization as well. Now you can see everything is together. And once you've done this, you just need to go and make that transparent. Now, this is just a few of so many different kinds of elements, and I just want to quickly run through these different elements. We've got an accordion. It's like a Q&A that you can have on your website. So let me just scroll down a little bit and give you an idea by just adding the elements so you can see what the elements look like. So an accordion is basically a question and answers type of thing. So when the person clicks, they will be able to have a question and an answer or an image. It depends on how you want to use that. So that is the accordion. And then we go back. We've got animated elements. I don't know if you guys have ever seen websites. We actually use this function on our kindergarten website that we did about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And it basically, what happens is it runs a number according to the number that you've created. Really, really cool feature to have. And then let's go take a look at the big menu. The big menu is an awesome function because especially if you're creating something of very large value and there is a lot of content and you need to create a hierarchy, this is the best way to go. Because let me show you an example. Clicking on standard, you can have multiple packages maybe with different kinds of things under that one area. And as you go past these, you can see the functionality of what a large website you can build if you have all of these big menus at the top. Really cool. Really cool.
So on that point, I think I want to go back to the presentation, but I want to also say something here. Jackie, what a great kind of run through. There are so many different tools and so many things that you can do on the platform if you really want to get in and create a really deep website. But also, if you're just looking to go in and visually create, all of that is also accessible to you, right? Absolutely. I always think about this whenever I'm creating a website. Why isn't it a creative process, right? Why isn't it this this visual thing, because the website is visual itself. It's kind of strange that we're okay with websites being created through code, through columns and rows, through something that's really highly restrictive, when in their very nature they're basically visual. So I think that's what Builderall unlocks for us. Obviously, there are other really nice competitors out there. I'm sort of biased a little bit. I think, especially because I've seen Builderall improve so much over time. I think I'm really excited for the year to come. And we do have a lot of things under wrap that really connect with the future, AI, other big tools and competitors. So all of that, stay tuned for it. And it's coming in. Social media. This topic I get really excited about, because social media can, in a lot of ways, make or break your system, right? It can make or break the business and your marketing channels. What we've seen on social media are a few trends. One, we have people using Instagram to drive visitors to a link in bio page. And from that link in bio page, we send people off to different directions. Okay. Another trend that we've seen is people ask their viewers to write a comment, and the creator will send you a guide, or will send you a link or a code or whatever it is. Builderall has created those three things for you to use. First of all, we have a social post automation tool. So you can create your social posts, and post them on an unlimited number of accounts. So Builderall is not limiting. A lot of other tools do. We're not limiting how many accounts you have connected to your account. So if you are an agency and you're running multiple social media accounts for your clients, you can use this tool without any added cost. Jackie, you're going to show us how to use that tool, but I also wanted to say, if you also want to create that response or that auto response from the comments, you can set that up all in the platform right in one place. And then finally, when you go to send users to your website, saying something like link in bio is something really common. People go to your bio in your Instagram or TikTok, wherever, they click that link and they go to that bridge page that sends them off to your different aspects. I'm going to show you our template for that page. If you have signed up to this workshop, which you obviously have, you're going to get 3 templates, one for each of these. So a template for social media, a template for your link in bio page, and we're going to show you exactly how you set up that auto response. So you can set up your entire social media flow and have it drive back to your website and build the website. And then in the future, on this workshop, we're going to show you how to create that email flow and all of that all in one native environment. So Jackie, I'll turn it over to you. We can run through these 3 tools really quickly. I do want to make time so we can just, kind of burn through these. We have deeper guides in all of these, but I want to show how accessible it is to build out the whole funnel really easy, right in one place. You are on mute. Sorry about that, Jackie.
There we go.
Yeah.
The auto post tool right here is basically your calendar of your social media that you're going to post. And this is probably one of the easiest tools to use in Builderall, because it is literally get your post and post it. That's what it is. So if you're going to go to the accounts area, the first thing you need to do is to connect your account. So I'm just going to make use of Facebook, for an example, to show you how quickly you can do that. So for me now, it's just going to ask me to reconnect because I had to disconnect it so that I can show you how quickly it is. And then once you've got it, you're going to choose which account you want to link to this page. Really important. And you can ask your different color. And that's what it's so nice about it, because if you've got multiple accounts, you can differentiate it with the color. Yes. So then you've got it connected. All you really need to do then is start posting. So you can see new post. And I'm going to say on Facebook, and this is the account. It opens up the page. This is where you're going to put your title. So I'm just going to say I am a title. This is your post schedule of your post, the time. You can post it immediately, or you can choose to schedule it.
Right.
Your description or your content.
And this way, you guys. Sorry to jump in, Jackie. With AI, you can set up so many different things in advance and create so much content in advance. You can just create it, set it, and then push out your, let's say, your whole week's worth of social media, or month's worth even. If you're really caffeinated, you can push out your entire month's worth of social media in advance and just be done with it. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Just monitor content and your comments, and you can go from there.
And so right here, you can see that this is now it's going to show you exactly what your post will look like. And then you're just going to hit on schedule post. Okay, I haven't scheduled it in the future yet. So let me just go like 6 here and schedule post. Now, if you're going to go to your calendar right here, you will see it in that post. So I think mine is the next month.
Yep.
I am the title, and it sits right here. And that is where it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't.
Sorry, go ahead. I jumped the gun on you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So if you feel like you've made a mistake and you don't want it to happen, you're just going to click on delete rule. If something goes wrong, maybe the link, there's a disconnect between the platform because Facebook has changed something or whatever, it will show you in the error page all the errors, and you will be able to know exactly which of the posts didn't go through. This is literally the auto post.
Yeah, and if you can go back to the calendar, clicking on the box, the date that you want, opens up that tool as well, and you can post your content there. So you want to select something in the future.
Yep.
And then asks you which account. And here, imagine if you had, multiple clients or something like that, you would have a list of all your clients, whether or not you're posting on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, excuse me. You have access to all of that right in here. So,
and you can see, you can filter your accounts and your pages. You can view by day, by week.
Yes.
This is really, really an awesome tool. And you will also be able to see how many was connected.
So I want you all to imagine we used our social post and we put a piece of content out. And in that piece of content, we're, let's say, promoting a guide. And we say, write guide in the comments, or marketing 101 in the comments, and we'll send you a link. All right. You can use the messenger chatbot right in here. Jackie, you're going to show us how to set that up. Right.
That's right. So now we've made all of the posts just like Pia said. It's all on that calendar and it's been running. The important thing to remember when you have a comment, if you want people to respond to a comment, is that there has to be posted already. Mm-hmm. It cannot be something that's in the future, because it actually needs to activate on that specific area. So the same year, you're going to have to connect your pages. So I've already connected a page right here. And if I go to my dashboard, you're going to see that there's a variety of things happening right here. Now, to make use of any of these things, it's important to go and create a flow. Now, a flow is basically when they make that comment, all right, you need to connect a flow to that specific area. A flow is basically where the chatbot is going to interact with them and says, okay, they've made this specific comment. What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
Where if they've said yes, for an example, you will send them maybe the lead magnet, or you're going to ask them for the email address, or that is basically what a flow is. So in this example, I've already created a flow, but if it comes to the comments autoresponder, this is where the magic happens. You're going to go and add a post for your reply. Here is some of the posts that has been placed already on social media.
So
you're going to select it.
Sorry, Jackie, it's important to really highlight here. It's going to look at all of the posts that you have posted already, and you're going to go in and pick the post right from your Instagram feed. There's no need to do anything else. Again, it's all visual based because we're visual creatures. So
yeah,
really easy.
So let me just show you guys again. You're going to click add author. You're going to choose the post that's already been on social media. Mm-hmm. You're going to click the one that you want to use. And this is where you're going to connect the flow that you've created. Yeah. So you can see there is the flow that we've created. And then we're going to choose what is going to happen. We're not going to have a delay there. We already want to send them immediate response, but we want them to say yes. All right. So in your post originally on the auto post tool, you might have said in the description, do you want to be part of the following test? Type yes in the comments. And this is where it comes now. It says what is going to be the phrase. Common text consist phrase or common text does not consist. I can say consist the phrase or whatever. I'm just going to say yes and I'm going to click add. So basically what's happening now is people that are going to go to that post now and they're going to see it on Instagram, they're going to see the question, and because they want whatever you are offering, they're going to type that word yes right at the bottom. And the moment that they type yes into the comments, what's going to happen? The bot is going to activate, and this flow that you've created is going to go in action. And it's going to do all the talking for you, just like a chat bot.
Yep. Awesome. And so let's say, let me actually show you guys the link in bio page here. Let's say, you want people to respond to you, and in your post you say link in bio for more. And we are getting more and more familiar with pages like this. Companies like Linktree or whatever else, they create this type of easy content. This is a template that you can very easily create on the Builderall platform. We're giving you this template as part of, sorry about that, I'm changing sizes on you. You can very easily create this page on the Builderall Builder. We're giving away this template. You can set this as your link in bio in your social media. So every time you want to promote something, you can just say link in bio. People are really familiar with it. They go into your profile and they find that link, and then they get here. So this is our link in bio page. If someone on social media wants to learn more about us, when we say link in bio, we answer some of like the bigger questions. What is Builderall? We give new templates every week. So in this week, you go in, you see the new template. This is a free access to Builderall, so to try it for free workshops, just like this one. And if you're not sure which plans to use, this sends you to a quiz. So there are multiple different ways. This is sort of that bridge. Depending on what users are looking for, they can basically find the content here.
I see a bio page almost like a multiple lead generation machine, because you can have so many different kinds of things linked to one button.
That's right. That's right. Oh, sorry about that. Let me go into presenter mode here. All right. And so let me find my spot. Here we go. So we were talking about social media. These are the 3 steps that you can use to engage people. So this is what I want people to do. Close your eyes. Imagine the customer that's going to see you on Instagram. They're going to see your post. They're going to like what you're saying. They're going to go to the comments. They're going to write your response. You're going to respond to them immediately with the comment autoresponder. All right. If you want to send them to your bio, your scheduled post would say something like link in bio. They go to link in bio, they find your bridge page, and now they're on your website that you created. All right. We're connecting the dots here, right? We're connecting the dots. Now the customer has seen your content, they've engaged with you, and they've engaged deeper, right? They've gone to your website. If you have any tracking links or retargeting, anything like that, this is, now it all comes into play. And then finally, let's say on your page, you have like a lead generation form. Hey, give me your email content, your email contact info, and I'll give you this discount or this guide or whatever it is for free. Now you can utilize email marketing to start to nurture that customer. Hey, remember when you saw my content and you liked everything that I was saying? Here's something more, right? Here's, come back, let's do this workshop together. We have this free thing that we're offering, or, whatever it is that you need to do to engage with your customer and keep them coming back for more. Builderall has that really, really easy interconnectivity between your email marketing, your social media, and your website. Okay, so now we're seeing how in the beginning of our workshop, we were talking about the different channels. Now we're seeing how everything sort of starts to come together. All right. Leave your comments if you have any questions. Jackie, I'd love you to show us really quickly, and I know that email marketing is one of those topics where you can really dig in, but I want you to show us really quickly how to set up a quick workflow. You know, something where people join a list, we send them an email, and then we wait 5 minutes, and then based on whether or not they click a link or they open the email itself, they move on to the next step really quickly, just to show people how easy it is to use and to get really dialed in and create a really cool sequence of communication that's gonna engage with your customer.
All right. So the very first step is always to go and create your lists. We're not going to go into how to create a list because we've done it so multiple times before. Yeah. And then obviously create your set of email sequences. It is important to understand that there is a difference between an email sequence, a regular email, and an email campaign when it comes to workflows, because the workflow only works with campaigns. All right. It can pull in an email sequence that was done or that was already been sent out like maybe before, but it mainly functions with campaigns. Now, a campaign is something that is not connected to a specific list or at a specific time, and therefore that will be done inside of the workflow. The workflow, you are going to determine when that happens. So let's go quickly right here at the top where it says workflow. We're going to create a new one, and we're just going to use the existing content that I have got there. And you will see that there is multiple different kinds of things that you can do. And I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed, because this is really, the words that you see there is basically what it is, okay? And as time goes by, you guys will get to know what all of these different things means. But the most important part is when a person actually subscribes to a list. So I'm going to click on unsubscribe, and we're just going to choose the list. I think do I have a list? Any list?
Yeah, we can create any list. It's fine for now. Yeah.
Let me just see. I don't know if I've got a list.
It's fine. Could you? We can do any list just to show people. Okay. If you're just starting off, you know, any list would do. Obviously, later on, if you want to really dial in and you want specific lists based on different pages or different offerings, you can set all of that up.
Right. So I'm just going to call this Marketing 101 so that we know which one we are busy with. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stretch this, and this is a good, cool feature so that everybody can see nicely what's happening. So when they join that specific list that you have chosen, what is going to be the trigger? What is the next thing that needs to happen? And most of the time, we are going to send them a first email, their campaign. So we're going to click on Send Campaign, and we're going to choose our first campaign, and we're going to click Save. Now we're going to do something different. We're going to wait a few days, because obviously not everybody is reading it at that moment. We're going to say wait, and we're going to choose, let's say 3 days. All right. And then we're going to, before we send the next one, we need to determine if they actually opened up that email before we send the next one. So we're going to go and click on the plus again, and we're going to say open email. And they're going to look, you're going to choose exactly the one that you sent previously, because the system needs to check whether they've actually opened it. Then you're going to click Save. And this is where something amazing happens. It says yes and no. What happens if they did open it, and what happens if they don't? So the first thing that we want to do is now we are actually going to give them a tag. We want to give them a tag that they've opened this specific email because it was so very important to us. So we're going to look for add a tag, and we're going to create a new one. You can go and create tags up front, or you can create it right here. And I'm just going to say open, and I'm going to click Save. So that people that open it, they're going to get that tag, and those that did not open it, they're going to get a different tag. Let's just say called not open. And I'm just giving you now examples that you can use. So those that now has received the tag that is open, we can decide to send another campaign. So there's campaign number 2. So they're going to get that campaign. Those that did not open it, now what are we going to do with them? We can either move them to another list, maybe because they are not part of you, or there's not part of your responsive clients. or you can even unsubscribe them from your list, which is important if nobody acts onto your list. So let's go and unsubscribe this person. Obviously, you don't want to do this right in the beginning, only after 3 days, but we're just showing you what you can do with this. So unsubscribe, and then you're going to choose the list that they need to unsubscribe, because we've got any list now there. Right. Or you can move them. You can move them to another list, or you can send them an instant message. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if they opted in and they've gave you a telephone number and you have got credits inside of your account, you can send them an instant message. Hey, you did not open up your emails, whatever. And you can see you can do it via WhatsApp, which is the Builderall Zap that we have got available, or you can do it through SMS, but you need to have an active Twilio account to get your credits. Right. So this is an alternative way to get into your clients, to get them to act on whatever you're offering them, to give them the variety of options.
Love it.
So you can do that. There's a variety of things, or at the end of the day, if you feel like you have done enough, you can actually end the workflow for them right there, and nothing is going to happen to them. This is a very simple workflow I've shown you. You can do much more than this, but I think it's important to understand that this is automation at another level.
Yes.
Once you have set it up, you can leave it and you can forget about it, and your business is going to run on its own.
And we actually, I know that today we want to go through quickly. If you really want to get intense about all of the workflow, all of the automation, Jackie and I hosted a workshop called Marketing Machine, where we built out this complete 28 step automation flow from start to finish in under an hour. And it was actually really cool. I'm pretty sure we're going to run again because it was such a nice workshop. But if you haven't, or you weren't part of that workshop, go to Builderall/learn, find it and watch it. It'll be eye-opening as to how deep you can get in here. But if you want to stay on like the very top level, send an email. And then if my customer opens this email, send them another email. You can do that so easily, and more importantly, visually. Right? We always go back to this point where it's all visual based. You can look with your eyes. This is how it's going to look like to people. And that's that. You know what I mean? It just helps you think. You get in and you can automate something really easy right in one place. I mean, look, that looks really nice. And you just set that up in the last 5 minutes, Jackie. That's such a nice, refreshing thing to see.
And I mean, there is so much more to that. Just one more thing to mention. You can even create specific filters. If you want an email just to go to certain people. So let's, for an example, we want to send another campaign here. And let's say we want to send campaign 3, but we want to make sure that they have got a specific tag. All right. Maybe previously you allocated a specific tag to them. Then you're going to go to the subscribers and you're going to look for the tag. I'm just going to move up a little bit.
And you can even filter by name, only send email to people who are named Aaron, and you can set that up. It's literally the sky is the limit with Mailing Boss, but also you don't need to get that detailed if you don't want to, right? So It's one of those things. If you want to really get dialed in, you really can.
Yeah, there's quite a lot that you can do. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And I hope that this is going to get you guys motivated to start using the workflow and test it out and actually see what you can do with it.
So I think here is where we start to talk about a topic that gets a little sketchy, right? Paid ads. I'm sure we all have our own experiences with paid ads not really working out the way we want it to, right? And I'm sure if you guys want to drop in the comments a lot of the issues here that a lot of people have with paid ads, I want to focus on one thing. I don't want to really get into channel by channel. I want to talk about how Builderall can support you with your paid ads. We offer 2 tools that you can use that are going to boost your conversion rate. One being a link shortener. So Builderall has a really cool link shortener that you can use that helps you not only keep tabs of all of the links you have out there in the world, but also if you have an error or if you want to change the long link, not the short link that's out there, if you want to change the long link, you can do that right inside the platform, and it gives you really cool analytics on the tool itself. Jackie, if you want to show us that. The next tool that I want you all also to all pay attention to is the booking builder. This is our sort of Calendly, but better, right? It connects right in one place, in one platform. You're running the whole funnel. And Jackie, if you want to share your screen and show us that, that would be really cool. We're also going to show you how to, change some customizations there too.
I was wondering if I just want to do one more thing before we jump, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we haven't spoken about the UTM, and it's something that's really important for you guys to remember, that you can, if you've created a landing page like this, and you guys can actually go watch our previous workshop with regards to this, that you can use UTMs to see and track where your actual tracking is coming from, where you've promoted it to. And it's really simple. If you've created a list inside of Mailing Boss and you're making use of a contact form instead of an email marketing form on your site, and you just add a specific UTM parameters to the default value, you would be able to start promoting that specific page with that UTM. And that is really a cool feature, because on the end of the day, when you're going to start sending, let's say at the top of the page, you've got your page. And I'm just going to quickly go to the list of pages here. If I go do this, and I'm just removing that part, and I'm putting a question mark with a UTM equals sell home. This is the one that we done previously. So every time when this changes, you can have the same one and start promoting that specific URL on social media. And guess what's going to happen? It's going to add that into your list, and you would be able to tag people with that's got that specific tag. If you change this, this could be to bio. That could be bio. So as these things change on these pages and you start sharing these links on your social media, you're going to know exactly which of your campaigns are working. Is your Facebook campaigns working? Is your TikTok campaigns working? It doesn't matter which one of it is. Right. That is the importance of the UTM. I just had to mention that. All right. And then now the other one is the URL shortener that we've got right here that we've mentioned. And that is really, really simple. You can start by clicking on new short URL, give it a title so you can differentiate from them. Your long URL you're going to place there, and it will create a customized shorter link right here. Once you've done it, it's going to look like this, and you will be able to see how many clicks has gone through that. You will be able to preview it. You're going to get a report, so you will see if you click on the report how many clicks has happened for those specific URLs in the last 7 days, 30 days, in the last year. This is really cool, guys. If this is something that everybody should use, because it's going to give you good insights as to where your traffic is coming from. This is really tracking. That's basically what it is if you are creating traffic.
Right.
And then the last thing that you do, you can copy it or you can delete it again. So that's basically that one. Do you want me to show the calendar quickly?
That would be cool to just show all of like the customizations of the calendar. I don't think anyone is going to find it really difficult to kind of set up a really straightforward process, but it's great to see all of the different things you can do to customize what that calendar looks like.
All right. So your calendar has got different kinds of integrations with Zoom, Google Meet, and your Google Calendar. So all of those can be linked inside of your calendar. So if I go to new calendar, you will see the different kinds that you would be able to start. There's consultation, and it gives you examples and features that is available within the consultation. Then you've got events, and you can see the examples again. You've got classroom as well as recurring. Yeah. And what makes this great is if, let's say, for example, I'm just going to create this one now as an example. Let's say you are creating a calendar for a medical center, and you've got a variety of different doctors in this medical center. Mm-hmm. You can go, when you've set up everything, and I'm just going to go through this motion quickly, just so that we can get to the next level, where you're going to see what I'm talking about. So let's say this group 1 is the first doctor. This could be Dr. A. Alberts, for an example. And all his information is going to be on this page. Whoops, where did I go? There we go. All of the information and his schedules is going to be in this area. Then I'm just going to click on save so that we can go back. Let me just get a thing there and go back. I don't want to go through the whole motion. Then you can see new group. You can add another doctor. This could be Dr. S. Verwey, whatever the case might be. And it's going to be exactly all the information for Dr. Verwey. So at the end of the day, you will have all your doctors here, but it's going to be one calendar that they can promote and people can make their bookings. This is really, really awesome feature to have, because it doesn't matter which group they choose, that specific group has got its own information with its own dates that it's available. And then group 1 is all their own dates that is available. And once you've gone through this, you can decide whether you want to make use of additional information that needs to go on a form. Sometimes you will find that there is doctors that, I'm just going to delete this one so that we can use the other one as an example. Sometimes certain doctors do not want to have more information, which means is on the form itself. I just want to delete this one group. Sorry, guys. Let me just delete this one group here so we can move forward. So if you get to the form part, you would be able to add additional fields. Maybe they want to have the client's name, the client's telephone numbers, if they've got any previous medical histories. All of that kind of information can be added additionally. They can have, obviously, they will be redirected to a different area. They can get payments on it as well. So if you want them to make a payment up front, you can do that. You can send confirmations. You can do cancellations as well. That is, and you can choose, obviously, do you allow it or don't you allow it? Reminders is very important in calendars so that you can make sure that your clients actually attend once they've made their arrangements. You can connect your email marketing forms there. This is where you synchronize with Google Calendar. You can have meetings like Zoom or Google, depending on what your type of consultation is. Maybe you only do online consultations. If it's an offline consultation, you're not going to say, no, do not enable meetings. You can subscribe them to a list, which I think is a good idea, because remember, you need to build up your email list. Social proof, if I were you, always add social proof, because that's an important function to have. And then as you go through it, the last one is going to be the payment area, where you can choose whether a person needs to make a payment or not. You can say yes, charge for it via super checkout, or when that person is going to attend, and what is the amount. So let's say, for an example, we're not going to do that. We're just going to save. And that's now magic part is that's not where it ends, because once this calendar has been created, you can go and change the name, this last abbreviation, because you don't want it to be 100% like that. But you can customize it so that you can create your own brand inside of the customization. There's already some examples here that's been created for you. And if you don't like these examples, you can go right here and start changing them in this area right here. So you don't have to use just that specific area. Right. And then once all of that has been done, all you need to do is start sharing the calendar. And if you start sharing this calendar, and I'm just going to go paste it in there, it's going to come up and it's beautifully created, and you can just click on and they can make their appointments, fill in their details, and they're good to go.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Before we wrap up today, again, if you are not a Builderall subscriber yet, use Marketing 101 as your promo code on any plan, and it gives you 30% off 3 months. Every month for 3 months. So you don't have to sign up for 3 months, but it'll just give you for 3 months that discount, and the starter pack, 3 social media templates, a link in bio page, a comment autoresponder guide, website builder template, mailing boss template, and booking builder template. Let me just go through the last thing here?
While you are going to go through that, I just want to answer Frantine's question that she's got here. She wanted to know if our comment, does it work on Facebook? The comment section is only for Instagram, but we've got the messenger chatbot for Facebook. It doesn't answer the questions or a comment, but it's got other functionality where you can still also engage with your clients once they join your Facebook messenger.
Yes.
So it's a different type of engagement. It's not the same, but it's also an automated thing that you can use.
Cool. So what I have in front of you, everyone, is the ADA principle. This is something I always talk about, and this is where we're gonna kind of wrap up. So we're done. We've made it through. I know we're about 15 minutes over, but it's all good. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Awareness, interest, desire, action is exactly the mental process we go through when we want to make any decision. Okay, what we showed you today with the tools that we're providing with the Builderall platform give you access to every single one of these different stages of, let's say, buying, or the stages of the funnel itself. In your awareness, you have your social media tools. In your interest, that would be something like your link in bio page and your website so that people come in. Desire would be kind of nurtured by your email marketing or your WhatsApp or whatever it is. And then finally, action is where people book a call with you or they purchase your product. And that's how you can create an entirely complete marketing funnel right in the Builderall platform. And then you can start to promote your business. You can change your message. You can try. You can inspect. You can A/B test. You can do all sorts of different things. But your entire foundation can be set up all in one place for one subscription versus 7, 8 subscriptions and different platforms trying to interact. I just want to kind of leave you guys with that idea. Drop in your questions in the comments. We have some. I'll take that. We'll take those questions, Jackie, and we can sort of wrap up today. Fantine, you find faith again. Thanks to us, we are glad that a lot of this type of content can communicate with people. I know a lot of it is really overwhelming sometimes, and Jackie, you've helped me so much trying to figure out the platform and make my way through. And what I want to do is just to share the initial information that you need to sort of apply, and how we can apply it would be great. Right.
Is the booking compatible with Riverside? I don't know what's Riverside, Frantine.
I believe Riverside is a podcasting software. I'm not sure what you're looking to do, Fantine. What you can do is, after someone books, you can send them to a URL as a thank you page. Maybe that's how you could interact with Riverside. I'm not really sure. I haven't set up anything on Riverside to kind of speak to it. But I'd be happy to sort of investigate if you want to share some more. Fantine is also asking if you can give a summary of font size, etc., on computer and mobile phones, because you're very confused. So, like, with the different sizes. Okay.
That's a difficult one.
Yeah. Do you want to take it, Jackie? Or do you want
It depends on the font,
right?
Because every font is different. There's no set size, because it depends also where you're going to use it on your page. Because you might have at the top of your funnel, on the top of the funnel, at the top of the page with your main heading H1 might be an 80, and then your heading H2 might be a 50. Right. And you might have another H2 heading somewhere else, but you don't want it to be exactly that 50. It could even be a 40, depending on the design of the website.
Right.
So I think it's mostly what is the type of font that you are using, because some of them, like Beba's New, is a very compact font that's very close together, where if you use Muley, you'll see that there are spaces in between the text. So it's really difficult to create a summary sheet of font size for computer and mobile. All I can say is the importance for mobile to make Google happy is to make sure that it's visible and that it's readable. Don't make it complicated and don't use too many fonts, not more than 3 fonts per page.
As an absolute maximum. I think if you are a designer and you're really looking to stretch your legs and kind of push the envelope, you would go with 3 fonts. Otherwise, just with 2. Different with the different weights. You have some have like a bold, medium, light. Some have condensed. Some have condensed light. You have different variations of fonts. Pick 2 or 3 different variations and stick with those. And again, like you mentioned, Jackie, make sure it's legible, make sure it's big enough, and you design the page appropriately. Cool. Well, that's a wrap for today. I hope that it all made sense to everyone. We're going to be running these every month, a marketing 101 session. We're basically going to go through pretty much the same content again. If you want to dig deeper into website creation, templates, really watching the process happen, join me and Jackie every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern, every Tuesday on YouTube, and we go through and we create templates from scratch right in front of people. So the image selection happens right on live. The content creation, we bring in AI, we bring in Canva, we bring in all the good things that we need to set up a page. We're on our 3rd template. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit the notification on the channel so that when we go live next Tuesday, you can watch us. So
that's
Jackie,
perfect.
So much.
And the last thing from myself, if you guys are creating anything and you are unsure or you don't know if you're doing the right thing, you guys can join me live on a Monday at 10 a.m. EST time in the Builderall official group. And you can be in the session and you can share your site with me and we can have a conversation. And I can give you some advice if you've made something wrong, if you're not sure about it or you don't know how to connect something. We don't want to leave you in the dark and struggle. That is why we've got these sessions. We're here to make sure that you guys succeed.
Absolutely. All right. Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. We made it, everyone. Thank you all for your time. Jackie, thank you for your time. As always, it's always a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you same time, same place next month for this one. Otherwise, we'll see you on Tuesday. Have an awesome day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.